Okay, so this is going just like I expected, truly. Even though everybody was a little concerned, late night last night, trying to get last things, do we forget anything and so on? And Siobhan, you've done a great job. Cheryl's done a great job. Cole's on staff here today. He's doing a great job. And I guess I'm just following up with the rest of us.
We're
And
having a great time.
yeah, we are. So what video do you have there?
It's the World Tai Chi and Qigong Day in Canada. So, George, you're Canadian.
I am.
So take it away, George.
All right. Here it is. Tai Chi Qigong in Canada.
Well, it is a beautiful day for Tai Chi in the park here in Toronto and around the world. Practitioners of the ancient martial art were joined across the globe today for World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. On the last Saturday of April, devotees gather at 10 a.m. local time in more than 63 countries to exhibit the simple, gentle movements from China. The annual event hopes to educate people on the potential health benefits achieved through the practice.
Basic benefits are that it relieves stress and improves your overall health, but there's also many studies that have been done showing the medical effectiveness of Tai Chi and Qigong in helping many conditions, including heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, digestive disorders, anxiety, many other conditions.
Tens of thousands of people will have participated by the time the worldwide event wraps up today in Hawaii.
Well, that was fun. So what do we got next?
We have Wang Ziping.
Oh, this. I'm sorry. I'm biased here. This is gonna be a great section. And when you see Sifu Helen and Sifu Simon Sifu Simon's doing Chen
I
Tai
can't
Chi
wait.
long form, and Helen's doing her mother's flying rainbow fan at the with the five families. She was invited to perform and teach in 2009, the symposium. Anyway, yes. So we're going to start with World Tai Chi Qigong Day.
We did?
Oh, we just did that.
Yes, dear.
I didn't know we
Okay.
had two videos up there. We don't.
Can
Okay, so Wang Ziping, if I can touch on that, he's considered one of the most famous martial artists in the history of China. He fought, which he didn't like, but he was challenged all the time. He took on fighters from Germany, all throughout Europe, Japan, the United States, and other countries, and he was challenged, and he defeated them all. He was known as the 1,000-pound Wang because he was able to lift 1,000 pounds, and that was actually written about and published. But one of the things was the Germans at that time had put a stone in front of the mosque. He was actually a Muslim and from the Hubei province. Anyway, and so the people couldn't get in, and they kind of laughed at the smaller stature of the Chinese people. So they sat back and watched Wang Ziping pick the rock up, moved it, and dropped it. And that was the end of that. They also, the reason they wanted to take the doors and they take them off, give them a couple bucks for it because they were quite outdated. Anyway, there's a bit about him. There's more on Google if you want. There's a 12-minute and a 20-minute documentary on the family and on Wang Ziping. So, without further ado, just take it away and play. Oh, and there she is again.
Wang Ziping was a legendary Chinese Muslim martial artist, renowned for his mastery of traditional Chinese martial arts, particularly Bajiquan, Piguazhang, and Chaquan. Born in Kangzhou, Hebei, he was celebrated for his exceptional strength and skill, earning a reputation as a formidable fighter from a young age. Wang competed in numerous martial arts competitions, including international challenges, where he became famous for defeating foreign fighters, showcasing the prowess of Chinese martial arts. Beyond his fighting career, Wang was also a dedicated physician, specializing in traditional Chinese medicine, promoting the integration of martial arts and health. In the early 20th century, he played a crucial role in preserving and popularizing Chinese martial arts, serving as an instructor and later holding official positions in sports, and martial arts organizations under the People's Republic of China. His legacy continues through his students and family, particularly his daughter, Wang, who furthered his teachings and promoted martial arts worldwide. In 1928, Wang served as the leader of the Shaolin Kung Fu Division at the Martial Arts Institute and later became vice chairman of the Chinese Wushu Association. He was a master of Chaquan, Huaquan, Leopard Kung Fu, Bajiquan, and Tai Chi, in addition to being highly skilled in Wushu. During his early years, Wang fought in the Boxer Rebellion against the Eight Nation Alliance, which included Western and Japanese imperialist forces. Some accounts suggest that after the suppression of the Boxers, he was forced into exile and became a student of Yang Hongshu, from whom he learned Chaquan. Wang gained widespread recognition for defeating martial artists from Russia, the United States, Germany, and Japan. One famous account describes how he triumphed over a German officer's challenge in a weightlifting contest in Jiaoji. When the Germans attempted to seize the antique doors of the Qinzhou Mosque, Wang defended them, leading to another weightlifting contest. Upon his victory, the Germans abandoned their claim.
There you have it. And that started the generational thing. His father and grandfather, Wang Ziping's father and grandfather, were also martial artists, but his father didn't want him to do it because he wanted him to get into business. Well, that didn't work. There's a long history there too. So, okay, next we're going to go to
George.
Yes.
I just wanted to say something. Didn't he be the model for that movie that was really famous? Something Dragon was a two-part movie.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? No.
Yes,
not
that one.
No, not that I'm aware of. But
I
there
thought he
is-
was the inspiration behind that.
Well, I haven't heard that, but
Okay.
from that standpoint, apparently he did jump off a 6-story building in broad daylight, and he landed on the roof of a bus. And the reason for that was the Chinese Tong, it's in Shanghai at that time, had, businesses had to pay, they called them the taxes, and they tried to recruit Wang Ziping when he was opening up his medical clinic there. And so he went into the courtyard, and apparently there, some guys standing around like this, supposed to be all tough and that. And he turned them down. He said, "Well, Mr. Wang, look around you. How do you expect to leave?" So he smiled. He jumped up on to the wall, because the courtyard is in the front. There's a wall around. He jumped up front, looked down, and jumped off. And then the other thing, that's when he jumped off the building, he said, "Don't mess with me." That was the message. And apparently it worked. So he's a very famous man. Died at 93. Went through the Cultural Revolution, and his granddaughter, one of his granddaughters lived with him. Anyway, the history goes on. And I've listened to the family. I went down to train with Wang Zhirong in Texas, so they spoke to Dr. Wu Chengdu. They both had stories of grandfather, so it's rather interesting. But anyway, that's just it's just a nice thing to belong to. But anyway, okay, this is going to be Wang Zhirong, who is very famous for her sword, and worldwide she's in charge of wushu and so on. And this is from 1990, I believe, and this was caught in there's a big event, and they invited martial artists, and she was invited. And you notice all the top guys in the stands that were looking at her and watching her. So go ahead. I trained with her back in Texas. I brought her up to St. Catharines, Ontario, her and her husband for a seminar. And the lady was just the most amazing. Okay, so now we have Helen Wu. She was invited to the symposium that, generally speaking, the heads of the 5 Chinese families, they're the only ones that can teach on stage. But they invited Helen Wu to teach on stage and actually perform as an honor to her grandfather, Wang. And so this is Nick Ration introducing.
It's really a special treat to continue this familial feeling and introduce the daughter of one of the most famous martial arts families in China, especially in the Shanghai area, but throughout China and throughout the martial art world. The name Wang Ziping is very well known. Grandmaster Wang was one of the patriots who stood up against foreigners who came to China and called people in China Yazhou Bingfu, the sick men of Asia, called the Chinese martial arts Hua Shou Xiao Tui, flowery hands and embroidery legs. They said, oh, that old saying, hao kan bu hao yong, is true, that Chinese martial arts is beautiful to watch, but not very useful. You can see from Jose's performance just a few moments ago, the movements are beautiful, but are very, very effective. We are fortunate here to have with us the granddaughter of the famous Wang Ziping, the daughter of the equally famous Madame Wang Jurong and Dr. Wu Changde, Master Helen Wu of Toronto, Canada, demonstrating her mother's creation, Flying Rainbow Single Tai Chi Fan. Please welcome Master Helen Wu.
Well, that was wonderful. Now, Sifu Helen, I met, that's your story. I go back when I was a black belt and training very hard. And Tuesday nights were black belt classes, and Tuesday nights were also a fan class that she was doing. And that was back in the early 90s, late 80s, maybe. Anyway, so I met her, and but didn't wasn't able to take the class. Well, when I came to St. Catharines and opened up my first school, that year I found a notice that she was performing and doing a class on fan. So I signed up, asked her if she'd take me as a personal student, a private student. She said yes. I also met Sifu Grandmaster Simon Hu, and he said the same thing. He came to my school for 18 years, once a month, 2 hours, and we do all kinds of interesting Tai Chi and hard and Qigong. Anyway, this is Sifu. No, Sifu Simon's next. Pardon me. This is her sister. She has two sisters. This is one of them, and she's going to do a short kung fu form. Then we'll get to Simon. I also trained with Sifu Helen and her two sisters. I briefly with his two sisters, and now Simon Hu's coming up. I did 3 charity shows for a cancer house in St. Catharines, and also the what was it called? Another medical center where you go to die. Forgot the term, but anyway, he came up to do one of the and 2 of them, and this is one. It's about 11 minutes long, but boy, you can tell the difference between a master and the rest of us. And just casually walks off the stage smiling. It's like just another day in the park. Anyway, I guess we're over a couple of minutes, so I was going to read their resume, if you will, but both
Go ahead, George, because we have some minutes we can fill. Go ahead.
Well, I'll make it quick, but like start with Sifu Simon. I'll go back to Grandmaster Helen Wu. Master Simon Hu was also born in Shanghai in 1956 and began his formal martial arts training at the age of 12. He studied directly under Grandmaster Wang Ziping and Grandmaster Professor Wang Rong, receiving deep instruction in traditional Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Qigong. His training was further enriched through study with eminent Tai Chi masters, including Master Gu Yujin and Master Hebin Quan. With over 30 years of teaching experience, Master Simon Hu is widely recognized as an expert in the major styles of Tai Chi, Qigong, and Kung Fu, and is respected for his ability to integrate martial skill, internal cultivation, and therapeutic application. Together with Master Helen Wu, he has played a vital role in sharing this rare and authentic lineage students. And he was friends at the time with Sifu Helen. They're like childhood friends, and now they're more than that. They're kind of husband and wife. Anyway, Grandmaster Helen Wu, born in Shanghai, China, one of the most distinguished martial arts families in Chinese history. She was trained from the age of 3 by her grandfather, Grandmaster Wang Ziping, and her mother, Grandmaster and Professor Wang Rong, immersed from early childhood in a complete traditional system. She studied Chaquan, Tenchu, Baji, Green Dragon Sword, Chuakong Ring, and numerous other classical forms. By the age of 10, Master Helen Wu had already mastered many traditional wushu weapon forms and continued her training into adulthood, later teaching sports medicine and martial arts at the Shanghai University of Sport. She since has become internationally recognized for preserving, refining, and transmitting her family's authentic martial medical Qigong traditions. Now, fourth generation, there's no more blood generations coming. The 3 daughters did not have children. So, the problem is I'm 2 years older than Simon and Sifu Allen. So, but it's getting out there. So, it'll be protected. So thank you so much for listening. And next, what's on the agenda now?
Okay,
Dr. Joe?
we're gonna have to have Dr. Joe Baumgarten, and I was gonna say next lifetime, George, you and I've gotta be born in a family like this so that at a young age we're starting these practices.
I know. I always believe, past life I was in China as a monk. But anyway, okay, let's roll it. Hello, everybody. Again, we're back with Dr. Joe for another episode, I guess I like to call it. This one, we're going to talk about arthritis and how it relates, how Qigong relates to it, how it can help, and so on. And I have a number of students that have gone through some serious things, and great. And Joe knows them too. But anyway, Dr. Joe and Siobhan, we're here all together. Now, Dr. Joe, go ahead, get us started.
Okay, so I mean, I'm sure everybody knows someone that's affected with pretty significant arthritis, or you may even have it yourself, where you might wake up in the morning and your joints are kind of stiff and achy, and it takes a little while for them to get going again. But arthritis can happen in any joint of your body. We're talking about osteoarthritis first, and then we'll talk about rheumatoid arthritis as well. Rheumatoid arthritis is a little bit different. Not only does it affect your joints and can cause significant deterioration of the joints, but it can also affect your internal organs. But we'll talk about osteoarthritis first, which is more common. People with knee arthritis, as a physical therapist, I see people every day with knee replacements, hip replacements. Saw a guy this week with an ankle replacement. As these joints wear out just from time or genetics or whatever, it starts to cause debilitating pain, can cause deformity. We spoke about low back pain on a previous installment, and it can lead to a lot of missed time from work, missed time from activities, missed time from playing with grandchildren, golfing, whatever the case may be. But a number of studies have shown that Qigong and Tai Chi can help with arthritis associated with the pain, associated with muscle weakness. Couple different reasons. One, through the practice of diaphragmatic breathing, you can help decrease the effects of chronic inflammation on the body, which can also decrease the effects of chronic or debilitating pain on the body as well. Through the mindfulness, through the meditation and the breathing, you can help turn down those areas in the brain that are responsible for pain sensations, and then get some relief that way. The exercises are very, very gentle, very, non-threatening, not aggressive for someone to do. Someone can do them much more comfortably than some other routine exercises. And what's important is that, with Siobhan and George here, as teachers, you don't push your people to do, as much as you can. It's not a no pain, no gain thing. It's, do what you can. With time, you will get better. And George, I've met some of your students who had very severe crippling forms of arthritis. And again, just through slow, steady practice, they're able to get back to doing things they enjoy with a lot less pain, a lot less medications, what have you. The exercises, again, very gentle. You don't even realize it, but they are strengthening exercises as you're shifting your weight in different positions. You're moving your arms and your waist and your upper body in different positions. You're moving your neck. And again, slow, gentle movements, which can help decrease pain and restore mobility.
Awesome. Siobhan?
Dr. Joe, I was going to ask you, when we talk about Qi, we talk about the Qi following the blood and water in the body. And I was just curious also, so we're bringing blood and oxygen to those parts by the movements, and that helps?
Yes, that helps, especially in some of the joints that start to lose cartilage with arthritis. You start to lose that cushion between the joints, whether it's the knee, the shoulder, the hip, different forms of cartilage, different shapes, but those slow, gentle, rhythmic motions help kind of massage the joints and massage that cartilage, which can bring blood, hydration and qi to those joints to help them heal.
So I remember, let's see if I got this right here, that particularly coming with a lot of the joints and the cartilage, the slow is better. And if I understand it correctly, is that, for example, as you bend your knee slower, let's say you're doing a, sit and up. So when you bend the knee slower, or pardon me, the orbital knee, the back and forth. So as you press down, you compress the cartilage, and that actually squeezes out, if you will, waste. And then as you relax and come back in, it absorbs nutrition and the different things and that go with that. And then as you go down, slowly it squeezes. But if you're doing like this, if you go up and down like this, it doesn't really work that way.
Right. Now, it doesn't really work that way. And then again, if you do those movements fast, you have the potential to injure yourself. You can cause cartilage tears, you can cause muscle and tendon damage, which some of those attach to the cartilage. So you get secondary injuries. You can cause a host of problems.
Yeah. Well, I think they get knee replacements and hip replacements so often now. It's just like, oh, I'll just get a knee replacement.
Right. It's like going to your mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of people that came in with hip pain, actually, even from replacements. And then they come in with, all kinds of pain after the fact. So the pain can go away, at least be dramatically reduced.
Right.
And, my thing over 30 years of teaching Qigong is I found that, people will come in with pain, but they'd rather they take a look at this, say, oh, that sounds foolish. I'll go to a medical doctor and I'll get a whole new knee replacement or an ankle replacement or a hip replacement, just like that. No second thought.
Right.
They come, I see them come back to me in some cases with the hip. So they're trying to slide across the floor when they walk. So you kind of move the hip first to this. And then I've had them in, and after 3 or 4 weeks, they're just walking normal and they can't believe it.
Right.
I can't believe this.
One of the other benefits of practicing Qigong and Tai Chi is that many so-called Western exercises are very linear. You flex your hip or knee straight up and down. You kick them out to the side. Very straight lines, where our bodies don't function like that. We're not robots. So our bodies move, or the joints move in multiple planes or various directions all at one time. And the movements of Qigong and Tai Chi are set up that way. You're doing functional movements where you're not moving in a straight line most of the time. You're moving in a bunch of different directions to coordinate those muscle contractions around the joint, which aids in stability, which can help decrease some of the effects of arthritis.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, Siobhan.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm sure we all have had clients that come in with bone on bone, and they actually can do these movements, over time. And Dr. Joe, again, because I'm not a doctor, I don't use clinical terms. I tell them they have a lot of junk around the knee. It's not just the bones, and you're actually strengthening that area around the knee to support it. So there are people that can do it with bone on bone, and it's not a cure for what it is, but it sure helps.
Right. No, you are exactly right. What happens is when people get those severe arthritis or the bone on bone, they don't want to move the joint. So going back to the earlier discussion, they don't get the circulation, they don't get the nutrition, they don't get the qi in the joint because it's not moving. It's pretty stagnant. But by showing them that they can move gently and gradually and, without pain, they start to move a little bit more. They start to gain a little bit of trust. They get more confidence. And all of those things start to happen, which can help with healing. And again, like you said, it's not a cure-all, but it will certainly help.
Well, show me what is a cure-all in Western medicine. Exactly. It's symptom management. Even that's doesn't work the best all the time. But so I'd say you got a little better shot with doing the Qigong, and because you can do it yourself. And I think people have to get involved with their own healing.
I agree.
Talk about that at the next episode. All right, so thanks for this one, Dr. Joe. As always, it's a pleasure, and I always get informed. And thanks for working with us, Siobhan. Always nice to have you along.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to stop here and we'll carry on another one. Thanks.
Okay, George.
Yes.
We'll just. Do we have time for the
No, let's just go.
Dr. Goswami?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you, first of all, Dr. Goswami, for joining us. You are an orthopedic surgeon, and you're actually representing, I'm going to say, our sister program or our cousin program tomorrow, Healing the Earth, which is on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. We haven't acquired that skill yet. And thank you so much for joining us. And I know tomorrow your Healing the Earth program will also be covering a day of Tai Chi and Qigong. Welcome.
It's very nice. Are you able to hear me properly?
Yes, beautifully.
As it happens to be that my laptop Zoom is not working that well, so I decided to do it on my iPhone. But anyway, firstly, it's a great day today because the Tai Chi Day is not something which is very simple philosophical. It is something and a means of trying to realize and recognize what life truly is within ourselves. It's a concept of realization, experiencing what life is. So whenever I see anybody who is doing Tai Chi movements, very gentle, slow movements, I really literally feel like standing up and start doing it myself. And as an orthopedic surgeon and a spinal surgeon, I wish I can tell everybody, please go and do the Tai Chi and not for the physiotherapy program straight away. It's not something that can be done very, very easily. So firstly, I must give you all the biggest respect for bringing in this particular program, and particularly those teachers and masters who have been carrying out this practice very regularly and teaching people the right way of doing things. So that what we call in a traditional Indian system, my pranam, my ultimate respect to these teachers. Now, next thing that I would like to say is that in our traditional Indian system, we have got 6 systems of verification of any data or information. One among them is to experience it, while the most commonly used is simply what we use in the traditional medicine is the evidence-based approach. Now, as a clinician, when I started my spinal surgery work long time ago, I used to use the evidence, do the investigations, and decide what to do and when not to do, and to go ahead and do the operations. But despite everything did not go out well. Many of them continue to have ongoing pain. And I used to be working in Los Angeles in the spinal unit where I used to be looking at the patients who did not do well because these patients were referred from different centers not having improved well with following surgery. So we used to start wondering what has gone wrong and how things can be improved. It's only over time and with age and seniority, we learned that human beings are just not mechanical objects that you can work on just because you saw something wrong in a scan and then do it. Therefore, it is much bigger than what it is. And that time I was very, very young, just about 30 or 32 when I was doing the surgeries as a fellow in the spinal unit. But as the time has gone by, I realized that it is much bigger field. And I must confess that over time I've learned so much, particularly when I come with people like you to see what exactly it is to be a human being and to be alive. Now, when it comes to evidence, there are many things that our conventional medicine cannot explain. For example, the concept of prana or chi. We still do not know what is the definition of mind. We still do not know what is the definition of consciousness. But you'll be quite surprised that the technical people who are in engineering and things like that, and who are proper scientists, have got a fairly good idea as to what it is. And medicine in general, with a view to protect the people that we are treating, usually about 20 to 30 years behind the conventional science. And that's where I feel that I have got a lot to learn from the people who are scientists. And there's nothing more important than traditions. And it's very, very important to recognize the importance of traditions because these practices like Tai Chi and Qigong are traditional things, and they're performed in the form of dance form. And these traditions teach us a lot about what life actually is and what is the flow of energy. And I was trying to read some of the books written in surgery and in medicine in India long time ago, somewhere like 4,000 years ago. And there was somebody called Shushruth, who is the master of surgery. And in the Shushruth Samhita as well as Charaka Samhita, you'll be quite surprised that there are 12 meridians which have been described, along with 72,000 points of connection between different nervous systems. And I was quite surprised to read these particular things. But I see the same thing in yin and yang or chi or whatever the things we have got. And very quietly, long time ago, I did my acupuncture course and realized the importance of these connections. And I think it's once again a way of trying to recognize there's much more than what we can see in a conventional science. And I think I must therefore again learn to respect all these people who have brought forward the concept of science, the concept of energy within our body and what life truly is. The next thing comes, which is very, very important for us, and that is to recognize that the newer systems of understanding energy, science, and consciousness is very, very important for us to keep ahead of. And when it comes to traditional Indian system, there is something called Akash. Akash is the whole of space, the entire what you call universe of energy. And this energy is converted to matter. And the one that creates that conversion is what we call as Shiva. And along with this matter comes what we call life energy, which we call Shakti. That is the feminine form. So this male form, the matter, and the feminine form, the Shakti, they constitute what is a proper life. And it is this respect for these two forms are very essential. And the reason why they have been given forms is because we as human beings always try to see something material. But in reality, this experience of having Shakti within us, that is the energy flow within us, is central to the concept of Tai Chi and Qigong, and such an important part that I again have great respect for. Now, third, and possibly the most important thing I want to get to is, so that clinicians like us not always pushed to a corner, I sincerely request that we try to bring forward Tai Chi and Qigong and various other methods like yogic traditions, so that we can easily and comfortably give advice to the patients that yes, you please go ahead and do it. It's not as simple as it is to say, when a particular patient comes and says, oh, you've done, this surgery has been done, that thing has been done, things have still not improved. Then we say, well, we have come to the end of our treatment, our pain managements have been done, psychological treatment has been completed, you still suffer with it, we're sorry, we cannot help you. I feel very uncomfortable if you were to say something like this. And that is where some people have said, what do you think about Tai Chi? What do you think about Qigong? I said, yeah, there's perfectly lots of evidence in its favor, but we still cannot tell you exactly where it stands. And I think I want to get out of that particular position. It's very, very important that we get together and try to create a world where we can take everybody together and make a unified world. As everybody has said, it's a question of love, respect, and try to take everybody together and make this world a lovely place to live in. And that's what the Healing Our Earth group is all about. And you all have come and contributed to it so many times. I would just love to do that on. At the same time, I would like to also, being a scientist and a clinical scientist in particular, I would like to have people work towards getting traditions in such a way that we can fuse traditional systems and form a proper evidence-based approach in trying to treat the people and get them all together. So next year, let me make the announcement even right now. I sincerely want all the clinicians, the various professors, academicians, teachers in Tai Chi, Qigong, all to come together and make the scientific Science and Association, Science and Tradition Association meeting next year in London a success, so that we can bring all the evidence together and publish these there. And that's exactly my purpose has been, is that we create the Science and Tradition Association, get the people together, publish articles, present the papers, and have sufficient evidence to say we need this kind of treatment to be available. Because quite unlike USA, many of the people over here who are at the NHS, National Health Services, they have to find their own way of getting the treatment for themselves. And I think we can get out of that position by getting the right evidence. So I sincerely wish we can get all the people together and provide sufficient evidence to say, yes, we are in a position to say this is recommended. So I really thanks once again Siobhan Hutchinson, George Pickard, Dr. Griffin, Tom Rogers, who have provided sufficient evidence. And not to forget Sharon Rose's documentary, which is fantastic, because I think many of these things should be brought into light from the very early age in the schools. I also see many of my patients who go to the gym and do very shockingly abrupt movements and do various heavy weights, take steroids, and injure themselves very badly. I do try to tell them as best as I can that life is not as simple as to be able to just pick up things and lift weights and do things in a jerking and jolting way. I think once again that you should try to learn the concept of Tai Chi Qigong so that you can do the gentle exercises properly and not get injured. Once again, thank you very much, Siobhan, for the lovely time and the platform that you've given us. And best of luck again from the Healing Our Earth group. We'll see you all tomorrow again.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And yes, we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I look forward to it already. It's been a while since the last time we met online.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to it too.
Bill, did you have a question?
I will be looking forward to it too, Uncle.
I've got your famous book with me, and I use it as a reference very often.
If any questions pop up, throw them at me.
I wish more physicians would have your, I'm going to say, vulnerability and openness to the different practices and willing to stretch out a hand, just as they did in Tennessee with the 5 families and the NIH. You know, there was a meeting of the minds, and I don't believe the NIH is really getting the support, the money, the finances to do the research that's really needed. But I also wanted to thank you again for being demonstrating that openness and willingness. And we will see you tomorrow at Healing Our Earth. Again, that can be seen on Facebook called Healing Our Earth. Sharon Rose will be with us. George and I will be there in the 11 o'clock hour. Right, George? We will.
I'm going to bed right after this tonight.
And so I want to thank you, Dr. Goswami, for your time. What time is it there in the United Kingdom?
It's exactly 1 minute to 9 in the evening.
Oh, okay. I thought it was much later. Thank you. Thank you again for your time and for
It's a real pleasure.
coming
Real pleasure
with
being
us.
with you.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very, very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.